Good evening, Rise Above family. As you can see, there is no live show tonight because I'm not even in the studio. I'm not even in Bournemouth. I'm in Hull, right up north. And this was actually recorded just 2 hours before you're watching it. So I'm recording this on a Friday. I'm genuinely not in the studio. Big show tomorrow, Bad to the Bone. Some of the hardest bastards in the UK. I get to introduce them into the ring, which is cool. But I need to let you know, tonight we have curated a special flashback all the way back to 2020. Episode Rise Above Live 22. That's right, I said it, episode 22. It's been split into 3 parts with a few other little clips in there for you tonight. I do need to mention, for any of the YouTube community service team, or whatever you call yourselves nowadays, this recording was made in 2020, right in the height of the pandemic. On this show we use satire and comedy, and we talk about conspiracy theories. But I have to let you know, if you want the good advice about your health, you need to go to the World Health Organization, or potentially ask Bill Gates. So if at any point through this broadcast that we show from 2020, we start to talk about medical procedures, please remember we are doing so in jest. We are reviewing conspiracy theories, and to get your good health advice, make sure you go to the World Health Organization. Need to make that very clear. Just a few other things, guys. If you haven't signed up to the Patreon, what the fuck are you doing? Me and Andy PG especially, has been working very hard with the content on the Patreon recently. Last week's Sunday night watch party and evening with was very, very popular, and we are now working on the next one. Get on the Patreon. It's only £3 a month. It supports us guys, it covers our costs, and apart from that you get shitloads of extra content. Right about now we're exactly 6 weeks until the event. Tickets start only £15. If you haven't got your ticket, now's the time to do it. They're still available. There's still room at the hotel. You haven't missed out yet. We've still got 6 weeks to go. Archaics, Martin Icke, Allegedly Dave, Graham Moore, Wisdom of Mushrooms, Inspector Veg, Ryan Sanders. The list is endless. There's Raw Academy, there's talks, there's panel discussions, after parties, speed dating. We love Rise Above. We love seeing you guys on a Friday night on the screen, but we like even better to see you in real life. So get on the website, riseabove.tv, get your tickets for the event, and we'll see you on August bank holiday weekend. I need to let you know we're not back live until the 25th of July, and we've got Indigo on the interview. He's not in the studio, it's going to be remote, but we're really looking forward to talking to him. So we're back live on the 25th. Guys, get your tickets for the event, sign up to the Patreon, enjoy tonight's show, and word to your nan.
We're live over 4 platforms.
Yeah, I tell you what, let's start as we mean to go on. Please share the stream, everybody. Give us a like. Share it.
Yeah, share it to
all your social medias, your friends, your messages, your emails. Let's get everyone tuned in.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
All across the intranet. Zuckerberg, the lot. Let's go. We're live on Facebook as well. Big up all the Facebook crew.
No, good evening.
Okay, so let's do a bit of screen sharing. Add to the screen. Yeah, and we'll change that a little bit. Let's have a smaller screen. It's Andy Peachy and Double L. How the devil is everyone? Tonight it's Rise Above. We are back. I'll tell you what, let's get Spoken Word Nerd. Hello, Spoken Word Nerd. How you doing?
Good evening, my lovelies. Hello, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening, Word Nerd. You're sounding very crisp tonight.
Am I sounding clear tonight?
You're sounding very clear. Yeah, very good. Thank you for coming on the stream, and thank you, Union, for not booting him out already. Tonight's subject, guys, is PsyOps. This is stream 22. And I've been seriously looking forward to this all week. Seriously looking forward. Bradley Golden says hello to Mrs. Rise Above. Mrs. Rise Above has got some friends around, so we're running without a producer tonight. We're running the stream. 2 hands, 2 mics. People's Freedom Alliance. Chris Sky is coming later. I was just getting to that. Big up Jazz at People's Freedom Alliance. These guys are doing some awesome interviews. They're on Instagram. Check them out, People's Freedom Alliance. They hooked me up. Chris Sky is coming up later. I don't know what time yet. The guy's so busy. I've always checking my WhatsApp. He's told me he's going to jump in at some point. Tonight, we're talking about PsyOps. It's not as if we're not living through the biggest PsyOps 100% of all time right now, right here. So big up everyone that's tuned in. We're live on Double LMC. We are live on Rise Above Live. And we're also live on Facebook. We will be stopping the Facebook stream.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. My particular presentation tonight about what I consider one of the most insidious PsyOps, a very long-standing one. That is definitely not Facebook friendly. Definitely not.
In fact, we're not really YouTube friendly tonight either, I don't think.
We're nothing friendly. So, yeah, get us on Telegram, Rise Above Official, and riseabove.news. Thank you, everyone that sends money into the fundraiser. We're raising funds for 2 things: for the continuation of the stream, the equipment, which we're all going to be updating soon. I'm looking at, I've told you last week, I'm going to go full Joe Rogan. We're having all the arms.
We're going to get the full deal.
The good mics, everything. It's going to happen. So thank you, everyone that's donating money. And the other thing which we are raising money for is, big up Kentucky, 2 mics, 1 Schwab. That's a YouTube video I can get down with. 2 mics, 1 Schwab. Big up Victoria Campbell. So yeah, we're raising money to keep the stream going. It costs £50 a month for the stream plus the internet. That's £90 a month. It's a big cost, but we'll never charge for it.
No.
Rise Above will always be 100% free. So please support us.
You know why we won't be monetized? Because then we can't be controlled.
Exactly.
That's the name of the game, people. Control.
Big thank you to Keith Burgess, who set up the fundraiser for myself and Shelley Tasker. We were both facing £10,000 fine from the unions simply for telling the truth. They're now wavering. We've still got big legal costs. So thank you to everyone that's donated. I think we're up to almost £1,000 now. So thank you so much. If you want to donate more to help us with the legal costs, that is much appreciated. Right, these T-shirts are available. Let me tell you how to get hold of our Rise Above T-shirts, everyone.
The new design,
This is the new design right here, Rise Above Live.
Again, will only be, the design will change in a few months' time. So then,
yeah. And I've got some new designs coming right up, actually. So where are we here?
Rise Above T-shirts. They're fresh, yeah?
Yeah, Rise Above T-shirts. They're only £20 each. They are the nice, stretchy type of material. They're super high quality. £20 plus postage. Rise Above Live. I've got them in black, red, and khaki. There's also some new exclusive. This is my own design. This is the Rise Above White Rabbit. This is an exclusive T-shirt that's coming soon. Yeah. So if you like the look of this, keep your eyes out. I'm going to be doing some exclusive artwork on these T-shirts. Big up Matt at Surefire Designs for sending these over.
Yeah, this is sick.
This is my own personal design that I've come up with. Okay. And also, this is the new Rise Above sticker. When you buy a t-shirt, next up, you're going to be getting a couple of these stickers free. So I want everyone this summer to be pasting the Rise Above sticker wherever you go. It's got the QR code on it, and it takes you straight to riseabove.news.
Awesome.
Do you know what I'm also going to do? On the website, I'm going to put the template for this sticker so people can download it for free.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you can take it, print it yourself, and you can be my street team this summer. Heavy.
Nice.
Right. Here's one from. I won't tell you.
Are we getting into it? Are we getting into
it?
No.
No. We haven't even started this week's news yet. Slow down, Andy PG.
What is this?
This is the comment I got from one of the Rise Above fans.
Oh, excellent.
Lance, I invited you to a big Facebook group called Awaken Travel just in case you wanted to share the extra reach. I was like, cheers, mate. He said, my girlfriend woke up today and said she had a dream that we were on the run from the Coviets and we had to buy a gun from Inner Guardians. I said, we've obviously been watching too much Rise Above. So with that, please send me the link to the GoFundMe and I'll chuck you a few quid. Thanks for the constant digging and Friday nights. And this individual, I won't name him because I didn't ask about this. He sent us £30. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to everyone that sends us money. If you don't want to just donate, buy a t-shirt. All profits go towards the same funds. Right. Big up Millie Bite Size.
Yes.
She did another wicked Bite Size video for us this week. Got 100 people tuned in. Now, we're on the subject of PSYOPs. Does anyone know about the Brian Harvey situation?
What is unfolding as we speak?
It's literally unfolding now, right?
Yeah.
Word Nerd, are you familiar with Brian Harvey's situation?
No. What's this?
Well, you know Brian Harvey from E17.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So this is basically ties back into the Pizzagate stuff.
He's been running years, yeah.
He's been targeted recently, and he's had everything taken off him. Is this right? This is the guy?
Yeah, and basically it looks like they're gaslighting him. People are going for him. And apparently it's because he was at he once got invited to a party where apparently either Simon Cowell, Maxwell, Prince Andrew, or maybe Epstein was there, or maybe all of them. We don't really know. But anyway, Millie Bite Size has made a special video for us. And let me just get to that. Here it is.
This is a common story, isn't it, with people at these parties saying things they're not supposed to. And
what you're saying to me is real. So, sorry, can you just tell me what it is again that you're here for? Sorry.
Apparently someone's made threats to kill you.
Fucking truthers, all fucking wonky, strange, weird people. Ian Puddy, you're fucking weird. Bill Maloney, you're weird. John Wedger, you're fucking weird. Sean Atwood, you're fucking weird.
Brian Harvey's making videos. This guy's just effing Sean Atwood, effing John Wedger, effing Ian Puddy, effing Bill Maloney. Then he started saying I was working for the New World Order. Brian Harvey's
fucking pug.
Brian Harvey's
fucking pug.
Brian Harvey's
fucking pug. And finally, I just want to quickly say this, right? I'm trying to stop the child abuse and this wonkiness in this country, right? I can't do it on my own. I need your help. So please, stay with me.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah,
Millie
wow.
Bite Size. That's really good.
Yeah, Millie, thank you very much for watching that. Because, I mean, Homer Beats has been going on to me about this situation for a while. I'll be honest. I know Brian Harvey.
Magic's is in this as well.
Yep. I know Brian Harvey is in some sort of feud with Sean Atwood. I know that I don't trust Sean Atwood whatsoever.
What's the quick overview of this then for anyone that's not following this?
Right. So it seems that when Brian Harvey was in E17,
which was years ago,
in the late 90s,
20 years ago,
he was also going out with Daniela Westbrook. Characters like Max Clifford are involved. And allegedly, Brian Harvey once went to a party where there are some Pizzagate affiliates there, right? And it turns out that years later, he started doing this podcast and he started talking about stuff. And as he started talking about it, he's basically being targeted. And what Homer Beats told me was that all of a sudden he had people coming out of the woodwork, including Daniela Westbrook, trying to implant false memories into his mind. Like, do you remember that party back in the 90s where we saw Simon Cowell and Sunita? And Brian Harvey's like, wait a minute. No, it wasn't Sunita, but Sunita's black. The woman there was white. That was Ghislaine Maxwell with Simon Cowell.
Yeah, that's it.
Right? So they're actually trying to, well, listen, this is all what Brian Harvey says. I don't know everything about it, but I'm just saying what I've heard. So we're talking about PSYOPs this week. So I think it's only fitting that we mention that. So big thank you to Millie. And guys, when you see that Rise Above Bite Size, give it a share because like not everyone is down with these 5-hour streams. I know you guys love it. I know for a lot of people, this is their Friday night and I appreciate that beyond belief. that people see rise above as their Friday night. But for some people, it's a bit long. So we do these bite-sized ones to draw new people in. So please give them a share. Big up Millie. Big up Millie. Right, what we got next? Right, let's share the screen. Where's it gone? Here we go. Yeah, so we're on the subject of, the Soviet Union. And obviously tonight is all about PSYOPs, which we haven't even got into yet. I was just brainstorming, having a look for some Soviet Union flags online. I came across this. Then this one came up, and then someone did it again and did this one for me, yeah? So just a little Union flags, which leads us into our next subject. Did anyone see the interview that I dropped this week?
Mate, that was amazing.
Well.
The East German survivor from pre-Berlin Wall.
So this is what I posted earlier in the week. Tomorrow night, I've got the absolute privilege to interview a former citizen of East Germany who lived and grew up under Soviet control and actually witnessed the fall of the Berlin Wall. He saw he saw the Soviet Union coming a mile away and was warning people what we were heading into years before anyone heard about a pandemic. Can't wait for this one.
He was like, he was really good.
I even like what he wore.
Yeah.
He came straight from work, right? And look what he's wearing. It's perfect. He looks like an East German sort of Soviet worker.
Yeah,
mate, he was a quality guy. Big up. If you're watching, Jay, thank you so much. And I did a bit of a clickbait title the first time I made the video. I called him a Soviet dissident, right? And I apologise, Jay, because you said I'd rather be called a former citizen of East Germany. I apologise. I am a media guy. I did a bit of a clickbait title. Yeah. But anyway, this interview, maybe we'll put a bit on.
I really liked just the way he was, the way he came across. It was really good. He didn't have anything to hide.
Proper man, mate.
Nothing
Man's
to gain.
man, Jay.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And he gave us an amazing insight into what it's actually like living under the control of the Soviet Union and the Stasi in East Germany before the fall of the Berlin Wall. Now, the Berlin Wall is something I've talked about in my speeches. I've talked about it a couple of times.
Significant
Time. I was 6 years old when that came down. But go and check this interview out. Like, you want to hear what he says when I tell him that I call him the Soviet Union. He actually says that's an insult to the Soviet Union.
He said they would be insulted.
They would be insulted because the Soviet Union is worse. Big up Karol Dvorak. I can never pronounce his name. Hang tight, Smutler, Lee Gould. Yes, he did have a great insight. Jay had a great insight. So if you're watching, Jay, mate, the feedback from the interview I've got so far has been outstanding. People were seriously digging your insight. So thank you again. Brilliant stuff. See this massive mouse pointer we've got here, so we can't lose the mouse. Okay. It's time for this week's news. We're 15 minutes into the stream.
Here we go.
What time is it? Oh, God, it's only 7:15.
We still sticking with Facebook and...
Yeah. For this part, we can. Before we start talking deep psyops. Darren N. Chris Guy is coming on the show, right? I have been chatting with Chris. He's not easy to get hold of. He's got the link. He's seen the messages. He's going to be coming with us at some point tonight for half an hour. I don't know when. We're very lucky. He was actually hosting InfoWars the other night in place of Alex Jones.
Wow.
Now, I'm sure some people have things to say about that, but hey, everything's on the table here. This is Rise Above. Spoken Word Nerd, what are your thoughts on Alex Jones and InfoWars? Seeing as we're talking about psyop.
It's such a tricky one because, clearly he talks a lot of smack. But I mean, I've been watching. I don't know about you. I've been watching Alex Jones since I was off and on since I was 17. He's been around, and certainly back then, when I was going through my awakening after 9/11 as a young teenager, he put out a ton of documentaries that he funded and that he took a back seat on, or that he allowed to happen. He helped Loose Change get started, I believe, as well. So he does put out an awful lot of information. But then he did
the Russo interview that I sampled on the intro.
Aaron Russo,
that was him.
I thought it was interesting. Quite a few shows ago now, we showed the clip of Alex Jones with General Flynn, and General Flynn's one of his security team said to Alex Jones, he said Mossad. Do you remember he called him Mossad straight up?
Yeah, he just said Mossad.
Yeah, Mossad.
But like with everything with Alex Jones, the next week he sat down with him and they've had a conversation. So it's impossible to tell where he's coming from.
Stage people.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all actors on the stage. Even Donald Trump.
Especially Donald Trump.
You're going to be talking about that later.
Well, I've got some.
Seeing as we're talking about psyops, we've got to talk about Q later, haven't we? Really,
I've got some bad news for any QAnon fans.
Right. Okay. So, guys, let's get to it. Should we bother to play the Soviet Union?
Yeah,
video?
let's
do it. Yeah, this is Rise Above. We are now going to suspend all logic, people. We are now going to believe that ignorance is strength. We're now going to believe that isolation is freedom, because after all, this is the goddamn union. Yo, yo, yo. We are now inside the Soviet Union.
Welcome, comrades.
I need to change the banner. How slow am I? Someone said we needed to turn the volume up on the whole stream. I just did that. I hope that sorted it out.
Let us know in the chat, guys. Let us know.
See, we're still running with this second grade equipment. When I go full Joe Rogan on these motherfuckers, you wait until what it sounds like then. I'm going to spend about £3,000 on the studio. Trust me. Right, are we sounding good? Welcome back, guys. This is the goddamn Soviet Union. So let me get rid of that mix.
Apparently, I've got an echo now as soon as I started talking.
Right, let me kick you out. I apologise for Word Nerd Echo. Word Nerd is back. Okay.
Just apologise for Word Nerd.
Yeah, just apologise for him altogether. Okay, guys. So, right, as you know, we are mourning the loss of our memologist, Virus Man 2020, who really sort of encapsulated the whole of 2020 for us in this crazy, crazy times. Really missing him.
Where is he?
Where is he? So, this David Warner's been doing some good work. Gosh, imagine living in such a world as you're reading George Orwell's 1984, wearing 2 masks, an N95 and a surgical mask, in home, not seeing your family. Oh boy, who could have fallen for such a terrible totalitarian future?
Great artwork.
How could it happen? Well, it's not fantasy anymore. This is everyday life inside the Soviet
This is live
Union.
and direct.
Live and direct.
Coming at you.
I like to throw a little bit of their propaganda back in their face every now and then. Whoever made this is a genius. 19, you're just allowed to see your friends again. Better sit outside, peasants. Shiver your tits off in the garden. Have a fucking miserable time. Ignore these deranged psychopathic twats. HM government and NHS. I think that's awesome. I support this message. Woke Realist in a Guardians is obviously around tonight. He will be with us about 8 o'clock. He's doing something in his off-grid dojo or ravaging someone with a pack of dogs or something like that. Right, Gareth
doing some military grade missile training.
Yeah, missile. No, I think I think he was doing firearms training today.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was. That's right. What we do. Yeah, he's doing firearms training as you do. So Gareth Icke, son of King.
So just for anyone that's watching that doesn't like what we're doing, yeah, we're protected. Just so you know.
Yeah, we have an inner Guardians, inner protector, looking after our team. And if you want anyone on your team, you want that guy on your team. Trust me. Monkey Mitts, we're not going to take any prisoners tonight. And legal, no, Inner Guardians is not dogging. Not that type of dogging.
Wow.
Right. Gareth Icke, the son of King David. I don't care what anyone says. I like David Icke. I think he tells the truth.
Isn't there some...
obviously, he's a shill and disinformation artist
yeah,
as well.
that's it.
But everybody
coming
is.
in from that Brian Harvey story, they were trying to
They all are.
pin stuff
People
on
say that
Icke
about
and
me.
stuff.
People say it about Mark
yeah.
Devlin. Like, how you can all get more straight up in Mark Devlin. Oh, he's a disinfo artist.
Yeah, we were just listening to a Mark Devlin podcast before while we were getting set up for the show.
God, anyone could be, but don't let your guard down. Anyway, Gareth Icke says this. It's been a year since conspiracy theorists, stupid bloody conspiracy theorists, said it was never about a virus. Said it's just going to be 3 weeks, just about destroying the economy, creating a state of dependence and mandatory vaccination. They're just stupid conspiracy theorists. How's that going, everyone? How's that going, normies? How is that reality working out for you? Are you still clinging on to that reality? Yeah, Lee Gould. David Icke is awesome. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be sat here doing this if it wasn't for David Icke.
He was the original one who got me going.
When you read a David Icke book from cover to cover, and you don't know about any of the things inside the David Icke book, you are not the same person afterwards.
But the thing that got me going, as far as he was my introduction into the occult, because basically what I was doing, I was finishing work about 11, 12 o'clock at night as a chef when I was 16, 17, and I was coming home and I was doing 9/11 research, and I came to David Icke and what he had to say about it, and then he got onto the occult symbology of it, and that's what got me interested in the occult. And I was like, whoa.
Just while we're on the subject of Mark Devlin.
Yeah, Devlin's awesome.
You know, guys, you'd know that not next week, the week after, Mark Devlin is coming to the Rise Above studio. Have we made this clear?
Don't forget, you can check out the form interview that Lance did.
Yeah, we got 2,000 views on that.
Up
Awesome
on the,
interview. Mark Devlin is going to come and join us in 2 weeks. He's coming for the whole stream. He's bringing his record bag. He's also going to do a presentation on the dark occult influences in the music industry.
That's his speciality field.
I would say he's in the top
100%.
the top 3 people in the world that speaks on that.
No one. He was the first to speak on it.
That's most of his career.
Yeah.
He's written a whole book about it.
He was
on
the first
second
one
part.
to come out with these claims. And as he puts it, he didn't write anything in his books that he authored.
Come and experience a world-class lineup of guest speakers at the next Rise Above Live in the Flesh August Bank Holiday Hotel Weekender, featuring Martin Liedtke, Wisdom of Mushrooms, Graham Moore, Richard Ryder, Toroidal Dynamics, Inspector Veg, Marcus Payne, Ryan Sanders, Tom W's, and allegedly Dave Murphy. You won't want to miss out on these speakers exposing the peasantry that is Clown World. Exclusively at our Rise Above Live in the Flesh Part 2 Bank Holiday Hotel Weekender on the 22nd, 23rd and 24th of August. Don't be a peasant and get your tickets on our website today.
Militant Stairs. Militant Stairs. Militant Stairs. Militant Stairs. Invite the military here. 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 Invite the military here. I never invite the military here. Invite the military here. Invite the military here. Did you invite the military here? Invite the military here. Gore-Tex boots, ankle holster, kit, low visibility grey. Shock troops, 50k taser, crowd dispersal energy ray. Flame retardant combat fatigues, 9mm Glock 17s. SIG, 516, carbine with high cap magazine. Red dot sight gun mounted flashlight, backup clip, strapped to his leg. Counter protest firearms officer, CS grenades across his chest. Strict orders, encrypted frequencies. Combat civil unrest, across all borders, untold secrecy. Rolled out on the streets of the west. Invite the military here. I never invite the military here. Invite the military here. Invite the military here. Did you invite the military here? Invite the military here. Yo, smoke clears on the battlefield. Now we can see the opposing force. These guys think they're freedom fighters, but they can't fight for the cause in skinny jeans, Doc Martin boots. Feeble frames are dressed in black. Mask face, dark balaclava, hammer and sickle, red communist flag. Minds filled with a poison doctrine, far left ideological trap. Hordes of social justice warriors, protest signs, poised to attack. Radical feminist virtue signals, poorly spelled in luminous green. Pay protesters are useful idiots, get used in numerous schemes. Invite the military here. I never invite the military here. Invite the military here. Invite the military here. Did you invite the military here? Invite the military here. Containment units dispatched en masse. DEFCON 5, civil war. Activate the takeover plan, all drills are live. Martial law, post-revolution times. Life under curfew, learn to adapt. Thoughts of federal crimes. The signal virtue when you react, so better keep in line. Don't speak out or cause speculation. No more protest signs. Adjustment camps for re-education for non-conformist minds who dare to rebel or question the state. That's OSF design. Front revolution and crush the debate. Invite the military here. Invite the military here. Invite the military here. In tactical boots and military wear. Invite the military here. Looking at me with militant stares. Invite the military here. Irrational troops and military gear. Invite the military here. Boots on the streets cause imminent fear.
Wait a minute, we've got a guest on the video chat. We've got someone called Smooth Karamak. Here he is.
Smooth Karamak.
Oh, hello.
How we doing, guys?
Welcome, Dom. Bah.
Yeah.
How you
Sheep
doing?
farm in the house.
Barra.
Bar,
Very nice.
indeed. Welcome to our little Christmas melee, mate. How you doing?
I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad at all.
So it was only last week you and me touched base.
That's right,
with,
yeah.
with our Chris as well and Mark Devlin. It was a great chat.
With our Chris.
I was going to say Chris is our Chris, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I've had a bit of a late one tonight, so I won't stay on too long. But yeah, we're a good one. Good chat with Mark Devlin, wasn't it?
No, it's always nice, mate.
It's always a good chat with Mark Devlin.
Nice and laid back. You know, we're all on the same page when us guys touched base. We had a little look back at the year over some of the weird shit that's happened, and basically just had a nice little chin wag.
Yeah, we'd have been on about 10 hours if we'd have done the whole year, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we had a couple of sort of like choice talking points. And for anyone that wants to catch that, you can get it on Mark. Have you put it up on your channel as well?
No, I just left it to Mark. I thought leave it on Mark's, and then sort of
because he's had loads of deleted channels, hasn't he, Tom? So we need to sort of help him out to get some more subs, because he's only on about 3. Yeah. He was on about 50,000 before, wasn't
52,000 he had, yeah. On his
YouTube. Ridiculous,
that,
yeah.
Hey, we just hit 8,000.
Yeah, I think it was even more than that.
More? Well, yeah, it could have been. That was the last I saw it. Maybe 50,000.
Yeah.
Let me just turn Dom up a little bit. He's a bit quiet.
It's unusual for me, that.
No, it's me on the Queef Master Pro here. I had you turned down because the music was so loud. Yeah, so we've got to help each other out, because we're always up against Al Gore.
Yeah.
As you highlighted in the last deep dive you have on the show here. What was that? 4 or 5 episodes ago?
Yeah, it was something like that, wasn't it? Yeah, we covered quite a lot of ground on there, didn't we? What I like about the sort of presentations doing it on with you guys is that obviously you guys bring your bit to it as well. So it's not just my presentations, our Chris there and you guys. And when you listen back to it, it goes off in many different tracks, different tracks.
That's what I was saying earlier. No one's got every piece of the puzzle.
No.
Yeah, and I think that's also special when us guys come together, all in our little sort of melee between us all we've got here. It is important that we keep bouncing off each other, because at the end of the day, we've all got different skills. We've all got a different viewpoint. Although we're all still on the same page, we've all got a different viewpoint when we come into this.
Everyone's researched different stuff, and I've specialised in sun worship and child sacrifice, that kind of thing.
Yeah. All the good stuff, Andy.
All the good stuff, yeah.
So I think we've done maybe sort of in the region of sort of 4 to 6 collaborations with you guys over the space of the year.
Yeah,
us coming on yours and you coming on our platform, right?
Yeah, probably more than, I reckon.
6.
Probably, about 6, 7, something like that, isn't it? If you include Mark's, it's probably more.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe up to sort of 7 or 8. I mean, I'm definitely happy with the way things have gone this year, with all of us concerned. And I think, we should all move forward in 2023 in a position of power. Is there anything new on the horizon for Sheep Farm that we should be looking out for?
I'll do more of the same. I think every time, like you guys, when you do something, I always look back and question myself. I mean, Chris doesn't do that type of thing, but his drawings are improving. You can see.
I've seen he's been drawing more, mate.
Yeah, the more he does, the better he gets. And so, I think with research, I'm looking at it now. I didn't really class myself as a researcher, but obviously, I think I probably am now.
mate, I would say out of our whole collective clique, you are right up there in the way that you can take the subject. You can really go in deep, but also laterally. You seem to find lots of other pages and lots of other pieces of the puzzle that go out sideways as well as forward, which I think is very constructive.
It wasn't my chosen speciality, but when you realise that you've got some sort of, eye for it, I suppose, then you go deeper, don't you? And you look to improve what you're doing as well.
Absolutely.
So, I start with all the information that I've got for the Schwabian agenda, which is Andy's phrase. When we did one of the Young Global Leaders ones, Andy called it the Schwabian agenda, which I quite like.
Schwabian agenda,
yeah.
I mean, it's not even his agenda. He's just the puppet for his dark occult masters, but he's the face of it.
He's the face.
His guy's a fucking
one level
maniac.
up. His puppet master is sausage, king of sausage fingers, isn't it? I mean, let's be real.
It has to be on it. Yeah.
The master above the Schwab is the sausage fingers. The sausage fingers is the puppeteer above the Schwab, like this.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's another front man like Musk and all these other people. And that, as you dig deeper and deeper, you realise this, that and obviously there's a bloodline involved somewhere in that as well.
Mate, they're all inbred maniacs. They are literally
Yes.
inbred maniacs, all of them.
Yeah. Oh, and maybe they think we're maniacs as well for questioning what their behaviour is. I always look at it from another point of view where, we're the odd ones out. They're, the NPCs and the maniacs, as we call them, we're the odd ones out, really, in this realm, aren't we? Yeah.
The errance or the divergence or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah. We're the ones that maybe don't belong if there is anybody that doesn't belong, which is a bit of an oddity, really, but there you go.
For most peasants, right, the reality of King Sausage Fingers the 33rd, Lord Schwab, Health Chancellor Gates, all of these characters, that's a perfectly acceptable reality for most peasants.
Yes.
For most NPCs that are locked into this collective normosphere projection.
Mate, they love it.
Yeah.
They love
who
it.
are you to question it, you right-wing bigot?
Yeah.
I think that they're absolutely terrified of us and our minority group, who as varied as it is, our group as well, from many different walks of life. I think the powers that be are terrified, and they don't never come on with a full frontal attack, do they? It's always nipping away, trying to control the narrative.
Well, they can't go full balls deep, 100 miles ahead, because it would just be another Hitler in concentration camps type scenario. I can't believe they get away with what they do in China with the Uyghur Muslims, throwing them in concentration camps.
No,
and re-education camps. I can't believe that's actually still going on.
What do we think about the latest footage that's coming out of China? I mean, I know you've been. I don't know if I'm sure you've shared a bit of it with me, Dom. We always share things together on the email. There's a lot of footage of these, drones going above. As far as you can see, concentration camp, sort of lines of cabins and stuff. What do you think about all that? Is it?
Well, one it's on TV, so I have to have a tongue in cheek there. I'm sure there are areas where they're really clamping down, but we don't know. I mean, China's a big place, isn't it? And there's many different. It's quite a split country. It's not necessarily just China, and that's it. There's so many different groups within there.
Yeah.
And so we don't really know what's happening, if we're honest there.
No. There's also videos of massive gangs, thousands of Chinese people beating and chasing people in white coats down the street.
Yeah.
So we're actually being shown both sides of it now. And what I thought was really interesting is the back end of this year, especially in the last month, some of the main normosphere media has actually responded, and it's been shown with screenshots from our lot how they're framing these brave Chinese protesters standing up against oppression.
Yeah.
Juxtaposed with how they treated us guys when we stood up against oppression in 2020, right-wing, racist, white supremacist,
it's a bit
terrorist.
Pathetic, really, isn't it? It's pathetic, really.
At this point,
same tactics over and over. It's just dressed up.
It's pure clownery at this point, mate.
Yeah.
For anyone that's not retarded themselves, it's pure.
I think you said it on Mark's podcast we did, that you're quite comfortable. At the minute we're not getting sort of dragged out of his house and going into full Nazi mode. So bring it on.
But don't get me wrong. I'm ready for when that happens. I'm actually.
We're all ready.
Yeah. We've all
I had a joke with my wife earlier on, and she said, for my 50th, I want to do X, Y, Z, and I said, I might be in a gulag then, and she went, yeah, but I want to do this. What's a gulag?
You're about to find out, comrade.
I said it's a prison that I might be getting my thumbs broken in. She said, don't scare me on that. It does worry me that they might come for you. But what is my exact words were, what else is there left to live for if that's what they do?
Yeah. Hey, we're all hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
None of us here are doing anything illegal.
No.
All we're doing is expressing our views, and we still apparently live in a free Soviet state, allegedly. So, interesting as we move into this next cycle of the peasant sphere in 2023, the 322 year, Dom.
Yeah,
Skull and Bones
year. Yeah. It's and every time I do some research, I know you guys probably do the same. Wherever Andy's coming from on his research, wherever you are, wherever Master Lee's saying, I was watching FPV Angel tonight, and his research all leads back to the same thing, that there's a reset and there's all these controllers and bloodlines pushing it every time.
Yeah, and many people can squabble and squibble about the details and the names and the terminology, but we're all basically talking about the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've just had a thought. So if there's this reset, like a physical reset where there's cataclysms and the whole world just fucking melts or whatever it is, and we know that there's these underground cities, bunkers, whatever you want to call them, where the Schwabian people are going to go and try to hide from it all. Maybe that's why we haven't got dragged away to a gulag, because they know we're going to be fucked anyway.
Yeah, well, maybe, but also...
Don't forget, we don't know the date of this reset. I mean, we have to ask our
Maybe the place where these NPCs and these normies are being ushered towards with their injections and their Britney tickets is a place to survive the Phoenix event. Maybe in 2041 or 2047, or if you believe the archaic mythology, that in I think he said in 2070 or something, when a real bad reset happens. Well, okay, we'll all be old by then anyway. Maybe
Depends
those
what the
normies...
reset is, does it? Does it have to be, it doesn't have to be a cataclysm, does it? It can be again, the jab could be the cataclysm, couldn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be something landing on us or happening to destroy something. It could have already taken place for all we know.
Yeah,
and
I
just
think
waiting the time out.
And however you want to frame it, however you want to conceptualize it, there is some sort of common event that preparation is being made for.
Maybe
Britney Spears has got something to do with it, more or less. We can all agree on that, more or less.
Well, the Spears and again, all the people that are running this shit show are all eugenicists. So, we recorded a 3.5 hour show this week, me and Chris, and the second part of it's about the. I came across a story, and I will try not to spoil it, but of an Indian guy that they did an X-ray on him in pain, and they found a parasite or a group of parasites in his scrotum, and it got me thinking, because it said the parasite comes from a mosquito, and I'm thinking, didn't Gates release a shitload of growth modified
millions
mozzies
of
in India?
Nanosquitoes,
yeah. And so I did a bit of digging around. Obviously, we know he did release 1 billion growth modified Franken CRISPR-Cas9 mRNA mosquitoes.
No. You're not joking, because you've actually listen. The thing is, if anyone that's watching is not familiar with Dom, we might crack a joke, but he's probably done the research.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that everything you just said is true.
Yeah.
Those mosquitoes that Bill Gates released had all of those things that you just said.
Yes.
That's great. That's just fantastic.
Same as the Astra weapon that killed Icke.
The gift from the stars, yeah?
Yes. Yeah. Same technology in that. In fact,
he managed to swab that into a mosquito.
Yeah, the very company.
Health Chancellor Gates, man.
Who funded it? Health Chancellor Gates. And the very company that started it, a company called Oxitec, is part of Oxford University.
Of course.
And at Oxford University...
Just got knighted, didn't he?
Just got knighted. Listen to this one, though. The company that within Oxford that owns all the patents for all these companies. The Sausage Knight.
Obviously, this has been memed. This is the picture of the guy from AZ, the head of the AZ mafia, getting knighted for his
duties to mankind.
Yeah. For fulfillments to the realm of
for pressing
farming.
the reset button. Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, the company within Oxford that did owned the patent for all these companies. So if you remember Stanford, I said at Stanford University they had $7 trillion worth of businesses that had set up, and it was something like the fifth biggest capital enterprise in the world. Right. Well, Oxford have got a similar thing that owns all the patents, and it was called ISIS.
Oh wow!
You can't.
Of course it was.
Of course it was. But they did a name change from ISIS, and it also owned.
If it's too bait, they'd change a name.
Yeah. So anyway, and
what did they change the name to?
Something like the Oxford Research and Development type of thing. But it was called ISIS, and yeah, it's just. Every time you open that door, I thought, I'll just have another look, and I thought, oh no, and it started just with that parasite in this guy's scrotum, and And anyway, these mosquitoes apparently they're all male mosquitoes.
Right.
They're not female, right? Because and apparently males don't bite anybody. It's the females that bite, and then so males live off plants, females live off eating blood because they need that to feed the eggs or whatever. Now, when the males breed with the female, it sterilizes or incapacitates the next generations. Are we starting to see some sort of...
So it's the next generation that gets schwabbed.
The next 1 and 2, yeah. So, yeah.
Same with, listen, when this first all started becoming very clear to us in early 2021, do you remember when we had an email on the show from someone in Australia that was to do with pig farming?
That's right. Yeah,
they sent us this whole thing about when they wanted to sort of
It was the second or third generation.
They would do the injection to the pigs, and the pigs would breed, and then the second and third generation would start to have the effects that were forecast and wanted. Yeah.
And then when we think about it, by 2 generations' time, let's just say, I mean, we'll be ready for hopping off this planet. In 2 generations' time, well, we'll be gone, whatever. The young ones today won't know that. I mean, ask somebody now about the First World War, like us. We don't know what it was like in the First World War. 2-3 generations gone. It's gone.
Hopefully, someone will be recording this transmission right now, and they'll show it to future generations that someone made a record. You know, we do joke about this because right above, we joke.
But we've got to joke.
Yeah, but it's quite serious though, Dom.
Yeah.
Whether it's your recording or us or it's Godfadge. I've often said to people I showed Godfadge, they said, Spitter said to me, these recordings are special. It's someone recording these on a hard drive. Like if there's an internet out, this is like sacred material. I was like, well, you know, any of the stuff that we're talking about, you say like in 100 years time, when after a reset, post reset, when everything's been burnt, rewritten, how would you find a piece of authentic information? Someone gets a hard drive out of a drawer. They work out how to hook it up to their whatever type of screen or
their neural link.
Yeah,
we've just been sent in 10 memes live from the same person.
Mate, I haven't even got through any of the memes I had in the slideshow yet. It's been a great show so far.
But do you know what the technology is called, Lance?
Go on.
It's called gene drive, right?
Oh, wow.
Gene drive, right? But the actual technology is called genetic extinction technology.
Brilliant. Have you seen that thing that's come out in the last 2 weeks, Dom, about the actual baby farm and the video? That I'm sure you shared it to me. You definitely shared it to me.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
It's now about to go live. They can farm 300 or 400 babies out of the thing at once.
It's 30,000 a year.
Yeah, we did the artificial womb, didn't we? At the beginning of the year.
But in the last 2 weeks, but there's basically been the first. I should have the video to show it. I haven't. The first facility that is literally ready to go. It's a computer-generated video.
Jesus.
But the thing is, it even shows there's a big tank of this baby nutrient, and it recycles the nutrient and it pumps it back. And each baby, it was shown you can have the fucking incubator come into your house and deliver the baby. Rah, rah, rah. But what I realised was, as I was watching this promotional video, do you know what I was watching with the Empress? She literally said to me, she turned around and goes, "You know what that is, don't you?" I said, "What?" She goes, "That's the Epstein technology. That's the technology that Epstein was developing in his baby farm in New Mexico that they talked about.
Superior genetic."
And I just thought to myself, I was like, fuck, yeah, it blatantly is. That's what they said. They said that he had this facility in New Mexico.
That's what I mean. All that shit that went out on the media about Epstein Island, people got no idea what was going on there. Literally no idea what he was up to.
That reminds me of that thing on Star Wars. I mean, I'm not a big Star Wars fan. If Chris were here, he'd tell us. But where they went onto that, like another planet with a load of drones on it. That's like that, isn't it? Where they choose the drone army or whatever.
Oh, what, the Clone Wars?
Yeah, Clone Wars, yeah.
Yeah, where they took the best warrior and they cloned the whole army off him. Yeah,
fucking eugenics.
Yeah,
it's all eugenics, isn't it? Part of that research we were doing last night, there was a guy who was came up in the research who's heading. There's an app that they've been using to collect the data for all the symptoms of the current 91 Divok thing, and it's called Zoe. Yeah.
Wow.
And the guy that does it is a geneticist, and he works for a company called, I forgot the name of the company, but it sort of studies twins genetically, and they've got hundreds of twins that they're studying in the UK.
Wow.
And these are the people, I'll see if I can dig his name out. These are the people that are loose running loose and running wild with all this stuff. It's yeah.
But you know that's going to be the next big thing that drops is the digital twin. You've heard about
Digital
this?
twin. Yeah.
The digital twin. I think it's going to be this thing that sort of broaches the top end of 5G capability and the bottom and the bottom end of 6G. So it's going to be one of these transitional pillars. This is the reason that we have to go to 6G, because when 6G, you see this digital twin that almost works now, and it'll be where you can actually digitally clone yourself to another either physical location via a projector or via a hologram, or another digital location via 5 or 6G. And you can actually be doing what you would normally do online now remotely times 2, yourself consciously, and
that's like that
digitally.
Bruce Willis film, isn't it? Bruce Willis
Surrogates.
Surrogate, yeah.
However, in Surrogates, that was always a physical robot which was animated by your consciousness, and you can only animate. The idea with a digital twin is that you could be consciously doing something, and your digital twin is doing something different somewhere else.
This guy that were in that thing were called Tim Spector, OBE. Spector.
Tim Spector.
15,000 sets of identical twins enrolled since 1992, and it's known as the Twins UK Registry.
Interesting. I guarantee, I have this feeling that this research will be something to do with the digital twin. Yeah, and they'll be looking at, because obviously twins, and especially identical twins, do have allegedly, and obviously this is sort of pseudoscience at this stage, but it is being proven that they do have some sort of extrasensory link between them in many cases. And I guarantee that this will be something to do with it, because the digital twin, mark my words, 2023, it will start to be put onto the forefront, and they'll start to show to us what we can do with this digital twin. But I have a feeling it's not going to be what is going to be professed. It sounds very sinister to me, like literally a digital copy of yourself doing something else somewhere else.
And is there a third twin?
Well, when you got to 7, 8, or 9G, Dom, there's no limit. It's literally, I have 33 digital twins. They can be
shadow people.
Everything.
Yeah, the shadow people.
Well, imagine that though, because obviously, this year we've got the AI art, which listen, I've been watching that phenomenon, and we talked about it a little bit on the show. I'm going to do a whole thing about that next year, because for me, as a digital artist, it's quite meaningful. Yeah. It's sort of almost like some sort of massive tool, but also some sort of horrible.
Ed from Outer Light does a lot on that. He's been doing a lot of shows around the AI stuff.
Yeah, I follow some of the groups online, and I'm seeing what's coming out of it. And it's like every week they're releasing this new patch, and it is kind of mind blowing what's happening, but at the same time, kind of scary as a creator. So I definitely want to talk about that next year. But okay, so AI art, AI writing news stories, digital twins. I have a feeling that next year is going to be so quick, so fast progressing into this stuff. Even us guys that have been watching these narratives, that have been documenting it, we're probably going to be taken by surprise. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I think we'll be taken by surprise, but we know it's going to happen, don't we? So
maybe by the pace of it, and because I do think things have been switched up a gear in the last couple of weeks, maybe the last month or so. There's, I think, certain stops have been pulled out in what were maybe narrative markers before. We talked about that a little bit with certain themes. Tiny hats is one of them.
The tiny hats.
Yeah, that theme, that fucking plug has been pulled.
Racist, man.
But yeah, I'm seeing that with a few things. I'm watching a lot of other creators, a lot of other YouTubers, that all of a sudden the floodgates are open. I think next, I mean, we said it about this year, and this year was very interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people are realising they've been scammed, whether it's too late for them or not, who knows. But a lot of people outside our sphere, if you like, of, people who listen to your show, our show, people who, my neighbour, for argument's sake, said to my wife, it's quite a poignant phrase, I've heard this twice in a week now. My wife will go to somewhere with her, and she said, why do you think all these people are dying? Bear in mind, these are Middle England, tapped up, with every jib jab, school teacher types, etc., and they're asking. And my wife said, "Well, me and Dom's got his own ideas. She's not like me. She didn't want to jump straight in. And she said, this woman said, do you think it's the jabs? A friend of mine who owns a restaurant in London, he calls him a pot washer, came up to him. This pot washer's had 2 people recently croak suddenly. Said to him, "Chef, why are all these people dying?" Now, these are quite poignant things because these have never been said before in this country in the last 50 years, 100 years anyway, certainly. And so if they're saying that to us, they're probably saying it at home as well. It must be rather worrying if you've been...
I mean, you've got to be some special kind of stupid not to put 2 and 2 together. I can't believe they came out in the media with all this died suddenly stuff. I mean, what the fuck? That's bold, man.
Yeah,
it's bold to put it down to just sudden death. You know, 10-year-olds and shit like that.
Deep fried suddenly, calamari in your veins. Here's the thing. Like,
it's almost like they don't give a fuck at this point, though.
If it's this, I'm going to say this, and I think Thomas Sheridan put it really well. If you are noticing that it first of all happened with sports people, then we had loads of movie stars and singers.
TV
and in the last,
isn't it?
and in the last couple of months, like I've pointed out many times, the phenomena seems to be, particularly these medium-level celebrities, they've actually been very vocal about the people who were anti-Britney before, condemning them. Yeah. And then you see these 2 juxtaposed screenshots condemning anti-Britney people, deep fried suddenly right next to each other.
Yeah,
it's like a stage. I honestly think we're being shown this on purpose. At this stage, I do. I'm going to call it out right now. I think that
the unveiling,
the dark enlightenment, the unveiling, whether all of those people are genuinely dialing from the Britney Spears experiment, or there is some other type of ritualistic offering up going on, I honestly don't know. But I think we are being shown this on purpose because Thomas Sheridan said, if people can notice that there are a lot of famous people dying and celebrities, what do you think is going on in normal suburbia, in cul-de-sacs and stuff like that? You know, if it's happening with
the exact questions that my wife got from Middle England, and I spoke to my neighbour today just as I were leaving, and I said, "How are you doing?" He says, "Oh, not too good. His wife's mum passed away. His mate were passing away. This is all within like his mate's not going to make it out at Christmas. His ex-boss had a hip replacement and it went wrong, so he's had to have 3. Now he's suffering from depression. All these things are happening all at the same time, and you're hearing it all the time, constantly. And it is like some kind of, I won't call it awakening, but enlightening experience that you're sat back just watching all this unfold in front of your eyes.
Yeah, and it's definitely speeding up, Dom. You know, we started highlighting this even at the early part of 2021. Whenever
we knew before it started, mate.
yeah. I mean, listen, we were talking about this in 2020.
Yeah.
But I think in 2021, early 2021, I told Virus Man, make the coincidence graph. I want Bill Gates stood in front of a graph saying time going this way and the incidence of coincidence going up. We made the graph. Then all the footballers happened.
Tennis player, all of it. There's loads of them, aren't there?
And it's not slowing down. It's not slowing down. So it's going to come.
It's speeding up. What we're seeing now is the culmination of 3 dart finish plus rooster boosters plus kung flu taps plus everything else.
Plus all the extra cancer. And also, this is the reason I just said this. I want to address what's going on with the NHS. We have all the nurses striking, okay?
Yeah.
At Christmas, at the same time as the ambulance drivers, at the same time as the postman, etc., etc. The transport was a few weeks ago. Is it any coincidence that the people at the top of the trade unions to do with the nurses and the ambulance drivers has chosen this time, right at the peak, when most people hit the emergency room at Christmas, when we're right in the middle of a mass cull event, when coincidence is through the roof? Is this any coincidence?
No.
Is it?
There are no coincidences.
It's a storm. It's a perfect storm.
They've drove these people to either they've made them go on strike or they've drove them to go on strike. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's part of the plan. Because all this part of the plan means it's destruction, isn't it? They want to destroy. Destroy the very fabric of how we've lived as lives for the last 75 years in this materialistic
Because there's
world
that
that we've been
footage of Lord Schwab saying we can reshape the future.
Yeah.
But to
If
do
we
that, you have to
penetrate
tear
enough
it down
cabinets-
first. Yeah, you have to fucking.
Have to penetrate everyone's cabinets.
No one's penetrating my cabinet, mate.
No one penetrate these cabinets around here.
You never know. Have you seen that kitty we're wearing on beach with his wedding gear? Can you remember? There's a right picture of him.
That is not confirmed, Lord
No,
Schwab.
it's unconfirmed, no.
We've showed
No.
that picture. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie. It looks exactly like him.
Yeah.
But as I pointed out, I would like to think Lord Schwab has got enough finesse and enough class. If he's going to put on that garb, he's at a private beach, not in front of a load of peasants, so they can take a photo on their phone. But anyway,
Yeah.
Or it's a humiliation ritual from his dark occult masters.
I think there have been a lot of humiliation rituals in the media this year.
Will Smith, that was a good one.
Will Smith.
Yeah, that was a good one. Started the year.
that was a
didn't it,
good
really?
one. That one.
Even Madazalam, whether or not the peasants came around and loved him in the end and said he's not so bad, that was still a humiliation ritual on his part. On his part, £400,000 for a few months' work, being in a shitty condition, and he had to do some shitty things. That was humiliation for him, whether we like to think that or not. And I think a lot of them have been through that this year. We shouldn't forget. I'm not going to lie. I've had shitloads of memes lined up. We haven't got any time to go through them. I'm going to have to share them, save them for next week.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Dom,
Well, I'm going to fly, guys. Anyway, yeah.
no, perfect,
Nice
mate.
to
Great
see you.
to talk to you,
Mate,
Dom. You
mate,
dropped
as
in at the
always.
perfect time. That's the great way to end the show. This week, Midnight Ras. We are we've done the Midnight Ras service. 30 minutes past the midnight hour. Dom, thank you very much, mate.
No worries, mate. Check you later, guys. See you later in the chat.
Take care, Dom.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Word, power, and sound. Every positive movement, every conversation, every connection, every seed you plant, ripple. Don't let anyone ever tell you that one person can't make a change. Bullshit.
On the dawn of a harvest sun, are we speaking the truth in the sharpest tongue? Feast on a rabbit, served with a garnished lunch. We got the hardest puns. Mind master, trust your ability. NPC is an IQ deficiency. They're living in mental captivity. I'll never submit to these bloodline dynasties. On the dawn of a harvest, crops are sown to trade corn with the farmers. Sometimes I want out of this nightmare society, like I was born with the Amish. I've got the formula mastered, claiming our power, there's more to be harnessed. I'm no ordinary artist, try wage war, I'll be forming the armies. EQRA-NOX, that's Equinox. Our essence is infinite, not confined to meat suits or Tesla bots. On the night of a harvest moon, on the dawn of a harvest song, we're telling them welcome to the Equinox. Welcome to the Equinox.
On the night of a harvest moon, I take flight to the farthest tomb. I meditate in the darkest room by the candlelight until the spark exhumes. On the night of a harvest, I see a silhouette hunter hold up a carcass, and he heartbeats a target, and blood trails the ground like red carpet. On the night of a harvest moon, so sacred, silk on an ancient loom. Hooded robes in ritual rooms, pray all night from yesterday's noon. On the night of a harvest, farmers emerge and they set up a market. It's all business regardless, where your loot is bought and sold and bartered.
EQRA-NOX, that's Equinox. Our essence is infinite, not confined to meat suits or Tesla bots. On the night of a harvest moon, on the dawn of a harvest song, we're telling them welcome to the Equinox. Welcome to the Equinox. On the dawn we glance to the east. We ain't scared of the mark of the beast. Performing sacred rituals, nobody but a shaman and me. If they wanna take me out, they better come with at least 33 Schwabian fleet. Cause I won't go quietly, they're gonna have to do more to silence me. That's the irony, lost in this messed up society. They wanna force their views on our offspring, teaching our children that gender's non-binary. This is social engineering to try fulfill transhuman agenda. Al Gore better come prepared, cause I ain't in the mood to be censored. EQRA-NOX, that's Equinox. Our essence is infinite, not confined to meat suits or Tesla bots. On the night of a harvest moon, on the dawn of a harvest song, we're telling them welcome to the Equinox. Welcome to the Equinox.
I'm a freelance quantum gardener with a homemade combine harvester. So when I see your crops wilting, I got the organic rod that will harden them. This realm rotates in cycles in counter-rotational Solomon spirals. Masons build towers like Eiffel and vortex points to drain your vital. Simulacrum to appear cyclical, toroidal electro-spiritual. The holosphere projects physical, the manifestational synergy's mythical. We got problems, parasitical inside this torus field is critical. Henceforth mankind is pitiful. Rise and shine, please explain.
which wasn't fully backed up with documents because he was making some wild accusations about some members of the music industry. So
Yeah.
big up Mark Devlin.
I'm Team Mark Devlin all the way. He's coming here on
100%.
April 16th. And by the way, guys, I'm going to announce it now. Next week, Rise Above is taking a break.
Yes, we are.
We do. I need a break, guys, because it's a lot of work doing the stream every week, and I put a lot of work into tonight's show, as you're going to see in a bit. Next week, we're taking a break. The week after, we're having an occult music special with Mark Devlin, Oma Beats, Magix is going to be in the studio. They're all going to be on the decks. We're going to be talking about everything to do with music and the occult. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to that one, Word Nerd.
Yeah, that's big. Nice. No shortage of subject matter there. On the,
no, we'll need 2 weeks to research that show.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
So I apologise for everyone. There's not going to be a Rise Above show next Friday, but there will be a super badass one the week after. Trust me.
Oh, I think everyone should read a Mark Devlin book.
Yeah, I
next
seriously
Friday
suggest
night.
everyone reads up on Mark Devlin.
They're not hard reads either. They're really good to read.
Right, next. On the subject of psyops, remember in Only Fools and Horses? During the war, during the war, I was in a submarine during the war. Well, back in 2020, during the psychological war, Uncle Albert meme. We used to jump in front of traffic to avoid the human contact during the war. Well, we are at war. When I posted this on Facebook, got a lot of laughs, and someone who follows us, big up Mike, he said, "Yeah, this is well funny, but we're at war. Someone around the corner from me just jumped off the balcony and committed suicide because of lockdowns." And I was like, "Yeah, we can laugh about this, but we can also be serious. We are at war. There is a psychological war being waged on us day in, day out.
Waged on our psyche.
And the mechanics and the physics and the modus operandi of that is what we're going to break down later on in the show. Here's another aspect of this ludicrous psyop that we're involved in. And this is part of the mockery and the gaslighting, which I'm going to go into soon. Fauci just told us they found a variant that evades the test. Imagine that.
Oh, of course.
He wants you to know that you may be sick with an illness that has no symptoms and cannot be verified with a test to confirm you have it, which is why you still need to wear a mask. Stop and think about this.
Oh, this is
PSYOP 101.
This is next level.
What's the name of that disease that was a psyop in itself that didn't exist? Is it Schrodinger's disease?
I don't know. This is new.
I've heard of it. There's a whole meme, and it's like a psychosomatic disease that doesn't really exist apart from in the minds of people that think they have it.
Wow.
Very interesting. Yeah. The Sheep of Knowledge says War in a Babylon also said that this whole stream is a psyop a minute ago. I saw that comment.
Who said this is a psyop?
The Sheep of Knowledge.
Well, our stream's a psyop.
It is a psyop.
Yeah, a positive one. Yeah.
We're trying to psychologically shake people out of their media-induced, dark occult-induced slumber. In case you hadn't noticed, big up Sheep of Knowledge. Let us know if Word Nerd has got rid of his echo. Word Nerd, what do you think about Dr. Fauci and his little dictate here about we've got a new one that you can't be tested for? How does that work?
Fauci the rat. Well, that's convenient, isn't it? When all the virals are going around about what nonsense all these tests are, and it's getting harder and harder for them to fend. So why not? Why not just come up with one that evades the test? Why not?
Yeah,
I'm sure
exactly.
It's true.
Yeah, definitely true. Like Kadewami Asini, big up the Bristol posse, says here that not a placebo, the nocebo effect. So you don't even take the sugar pill, don't even take a pill, it's nocebo. Jesus Christ, that's where we're at, isn't it? Okay, so on the same subject, look at this young person. I'm 25 and I'm terrified of going to restaurants, bars, and clubs when they reopen. Really? Just don't go out then, you silly cunt.
Yeah,
that's the first time I said the C word on the stream. It feels a bit dirty.
But unfortunately, there are going to be people in this mindset. So, it's going to take a while.
I went out today, and
especially going on planes and things like that.
I saw young people. I saw young people walking along 2 by 2 wearing masks outside, and they were had their shirt. 2 young guys with their shirt off, wearing shorts with masks on.
Wow,
crazy. If you move over a little bit, Pat,
that's straight up weird.
Straight up weird. What we got next? Yeah, so I like this one. I like taking
I saw this
propaganda and switching it and sending it back.
Shake hands, show your face, space.
Zero meters. No space.
I saw a good one. It was shake your hands, don't cover your face, and embrace.
Yeah.
And have a hug.
All maximum human interaction. I don't think this is supposed to be in here, but it's there.
The gene ISIS of mixed.
No, you've added something yourself there.
The gene ISIS.
But ISIS is better. The gene ISIS of mixed marriage.
Yeah.
It looks like Noel Edmonds.
It does look like Noel Edmonds.
And this looks like Richard Madeley crossed with Judy.
Wow.
It does, doesn't it? Like a Mulhern. Mad.
Scary, actually.
Wolfie says Fauci just discovered fibromyalgia. He just discovered it, but that's been discovered for ages. Expand on that, Wolfie. You're saying he's just admitted fibromyalgia, because they used to say it's a conspiracy theory, fibromyalgia, didn't they? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, well,
the tiny little fibers that look like Schwab tech that come out of people's arms and shit.
Isn't that no? That's not. That's Margellans.
Sorry, it is.
Margellans.
It is. I got that wrong. It's Morgellons.
Yeah.
Silly me.
Fibromyalgia is this fairly new illness that's affecting particularly women. And,
is it like super fatigue where people just like they have no energy?
That's part of it. Yeah.
Sure, exactly.
I know a bunch of
targets in your body. You know.
I know that because it doesn't have anything measurable apart from the symptoms. People were saying it was like bullshit. Is that true? I'm sure that was.
I think it's something that's affecting. It's some unknown.
Morgellons. Yeah, I got it wrong. It was Morgellons.
Because
that's when the Schwab tech is like trying to get out of your skin. Yeah, dirty Schwab tech.
That's it. But there's far too many people that are our age that can't move like they should. And
is that a bit like ME?
I would imagine.
Where you just you literally can't move. You have no energy whatsoever.
I don't know. I imagine it's
scary. Pain all over the body.
It's similar, but it's whatever it is. It seems to be affecting the whole body, and it's the whole immune system and the nerves and everything else like that. And it's a huge raft of people that are getting this like mystery illness, and it's lumped in with a few others, very unacknowledged. It seems real to me. I've met enough people that seem to have something along those lines. Whatever it is, it's probably the food, the chemicals in the air, something. It could be a combination of all. We're definitely, we're under attack from all angles, but they're not going to acknowledge that. So I'm not actually sure what's causing it.
We're definitely attacked from all angles, physically, mentally, spiritually, metaphysically. Kedawami Yassini says, I've had to walk away for some good old friends that have embraced the union narrative. Me too. I've got one of my oldest friends I literally haven't spoke to once since this thing started. I didn't see him for the whole first year. I sent him a message like, what's happened to you? Is the cat's got you? He's like, no, I'm fine. You probably think it's all fake though, don't you?
Oh, no.
No, the kid since I was 16 years old. I drove him to get his GCSEs with him.
Wow.
And it's like, yeah, union got him. So look at this part of the PSYOP. This is the timeline for the passport PSYOP. The roadmap for the implementation of actions by the European Commission based on the Commission communication and the Council recommendation of strengthened cooperation against preventable diseases. That's a very long-term way of saying this is our plan to enforce Schwab tech, isn't it?
Yeah, and just
look where the timeline starts, comrades. The timeline starts in 2018. So what is the first thing here? Look, the actions on the left-hand axis or the left-hand boxes. Examine the feasibility of developing a common vaccination card or passport for all EU citizens. 2018 to 2021, the feasibility study for the development of a common EU vaccination card. So right now we're in the middle of a feasibility study. So when you conduct this feasibility study, how do you get the data? How would you conduct it? I've got an idea. What about if you simulated a global pandemic and locked everybody up and used a PSYOP to tell them they'd never be able to travel again? That would be a good way to gauge the feasibility, wouldn't it? How would you do it
again, guys? It's all a conspiracy.
Yeah, obviously we're on Facebook, so we're only questioning this. I'm not making any accusations because that's not allowed. You're not allowed to draw your own conclusions. That's highly illegal.
What else have we got here down at the bottom? Let's state of the confidence in EU 2020. Follow up by the
produce a state of confidence report on the state of confidence. So guidance on countering hesitancy tailored to specific needs identified by member states. Special Eurobarometer, European attitudes towards vaccination. This is literally the roadmap of the PSYOP.
They're just gathering data of how people feel about it, basically.
Maybe that's what 1984 is. It's a massive data gathering exercise.
To see, because they just want to, all these dark occultists, don't forget, they're eugenists at the highest level. That's who they are. They want everyone injected with, what is it? Chimpanzee.
AD5 chimpanzee adenovirus.
Yeah, so then
recumbent, along with HK, what is it? Keck? No, not Keck. HK something 3, which is a recumbent kidney cell. No, sorry, human embryo cells grown in human kidney cells, which are GMO.
Yeah.
And when I showed that list to my old man, and I said, Dad, you've been in the Marines for 30 years. See what this you've pumped into Mum. Read that out for me. Read the ingredients and tell me that you read that before you let Mum have it.
Well, some of my family members they refused to read the.
Thank you very much, Marcus. Heck293. Look at the Rise Above
ingredients.
family. I just do some gibberish on the mic, and someone brings up the number, the serial number for me in real time.
Yeah, nice.
This is why I love the Rise Above family. You guys are awesome. If you haven't got
So
a
yeah,
t-shirt,
these guys
please
are
buy
all
one.
eugenics. They want to mix everyone's DNA with chimpanzees and fucking whatever.
And what do you know what that's called? A chimera.
A chimera.
When you mix two different animals or two different species, or a human and an animal, you make a chimera. So this is a chimeric.
Right.
Do you know what 1984 or SARS-CoV-2 is?
Go on.
It's a chimeric virus. It's a bat virus with human Dave's ice cream. Because I can't say that. You know what?
Course.
If everyone was wondering what Dave's ice cream is, it's that virus that
it was
really
back in the
bad
80s.
in the 80s for black people and homosexuals. That virus. I can't say the word.
Fauci had a lot to do with it.
Yeah. Oh, funny enough, Dr. Fauci was really instrumental there too as well.
He was. Yeah.
Who'd have thought it?
Again, guys, just another.
And do you know what else they
coincidence.
used? Do you know what
He's at the
test they
forefront
used for Dave's ice cream?
of it all. The PCR.
The PCR test. Can you see a pattern here, Michael?
It's just the same model used on a global scale this time.
Yeah, on a global scale. And I think that's why a lot of people can't see the psyop, because it's so big they can't see it. If it was just happening in one country, everyone could look and go, "Oh, right."
Yeah, but this is too big for people. It surely can't be they're not doing it to the entire world. I
Do you know what people say to me
they
when
are.
I talk about this? Like, that's a lovely idea, but how would you? Governments can't organise a piss up in a brewery. How would you organise or orchestrate something like that across the whole world with different governments? Who would do that? And I was like,
It
well,
takes a very
it's pretty
small
simple.
amount of
The UN, the WHO, and the WEF.
But not
There.
even that. I mean, look at the actual when the countries acquiesce to it. Look at it. It's all main countries, isn't it? It's not, it's not Tanzania.
No,
it's not.
It's not Belarus.
It's not Belarus.
It's not Jamaica.
No, it's not.
It's not Russia.
It's the the big Western countries and
got a-
big
got a
Asian
comment.
company, China.
Got a comment here from a brand new
the
viewer.
leaders. Oh, what we got? I tested a Satsuma last week and it was positive. Nice.
Look at his name, Macho Pants Collier.
Macho Pants Collier. Nice.
Welcome to Rise Above, Macho Pants.
Absolutely, we like people testing fruit.
Mate,
here and,
if
and
next
sending
time you do
results
that,
in.
take a video. Take a
Absolutely,
video, send it to Rise Above.
Rise Above. Yeah, absolutely.
I saw someone
We
did a
got
Rise.
in this chat, haven't we?
We have got some great notes. Remember when Lord Schwab used to come in the chat, and Bill Gates.
Yeah, we had Gates in when we did Big Pharma Gates Exposed.
Did we have Hitler pop in once?
I'm not sure we had Hitler. Someone would have probably taken offense to that. Zero Dragon says Fauci never made any discovery or treatment, but some now being an unproductive doctor. This is what Carrie Mullis said.
Yeah,
he hasn't practiced medicine for 30 years. He doesn't know anything. I wouldn't trust Fauci.
So you got to think. Just quick question. Sorry to interrupt the stream. So if he hasn't practiced medicine in 30 years, how is he getting paid?
By Bill Gates.
Precisely. How's this guy getting paid if he doesn't work, if he doesn't practice in his field? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, what's he getting paid
that
for?
alone should be suspicious.
But why is he known as America's doctor? I just realised that there's a slide here which is in totally the wrong place. Let me move that because that's later on.
But yeah, that's just another thing. Like, alarm bells should be ringing. If the guy's not actively practicing medicine, A, why is he listened to? And B, why is he, how is this guy living?
Okay.
How old is Fauci?
No, 50, 60.
Yeah, he's not retired.
Okay, where do we get to? What's everyone saying? How's everyone enjoying the Soviet Union this week anyway? Oh, woke realist. I tested the vag, negative. Oh yeah, by the way, woke realist. Did anyone see? I say to woke realist, he's the biggest vag member, right? Type it right. Type in YouTube. Get YouTube up. I'll do it. Right. Go to my channel, my videos. Go to the interview with the Soviet defector, and I'll just go down here. Right, watch this. Look at the comments. Where's it going? Sure. So here's my interview with Jay.
Germany had the right to view their records that was held by the Stasi, and there were very few people who didn't have one. And you could ask for that by mail or so forth. I know
what he's talking about there is the records that the Stasi had. He said 20 years after the Union fell,
People
the records came out, and
yeah,
people saw that
people were
their family, people had snitched their family up.
Yeah,
right. So
you
anyway,
would find out who snitched on you.
Imagine that members of your mates or your families grasped you up to the Soviet Union back then. But we're coming to that. That's coming.
What a psyop.
So anyway, guys, check out this interview. So if you go down to the comments, this is how big we are, right? Where is it? Oh, there's loads of comments now. Here we go.
The vag.
God vag. He says, nice interview. was like, thanks, Wim, because you know me and Vaj are on first
Of
name terms.
of course.
I can't just call him Vaj to his
Nah,
face.
no,
It's
no,
rude.
no,
I was like,
no.
thanks, Wim. Can't wait for you on the next video. Hashtag Vaj Life. Lee Gould's like, love the creative videos. Everyone loves Vaj.
Yeah.
They're a whole,
So-
they're a whole channel.
He's
and
very
stations
modest as
dedicated
well.
to making videos about God Vaj's work.
Really?
Yeah, there's whole American stations. They're rubbish, but they just talk about.
They're into it.
They just talk about the
That's
creative
right.
theory.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're still speaking, getting it out there, and sharing these ideas. And big up to, even if they are shit, big up to them.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
my opinion. My humble opinion.
Well, no. I mean, it's like what I mean is they're not like putting out new stuff like Vaj. They're just
Yeah,
talking about it.
That's fine
but
because
they're pushing it out to their mates. Their mates are going right. I'll watch that video.
you think about it, guys. We talk about the dark occult and all these, these think tank operations. Well, that's what we're doing to a certain extent. We've been a think tank, aren't we?
Yeah. Rise
Well,
Above
it's
is a
just
think tank for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
this is
just
a think
not
tank.
using it for nefarious
We're also
reasons.
an NGO as well.
Yes,
Do you know
yes,
that?
we are.
Rise
Yes,
Above
we
is
are
a
an
non-government
NGO.
organisation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we're an NGO and a think
It's
tank.
a think tank. So fair play to the guys.
Right, where do we get to? There's,
Chatting about God Vaj and his work and the
Badge
creative
life,
theory.
baby. Right, let's get back to the this week in the communion. So we were talking about Big View. There we go. Check this out.
Lord Potato Head, yes.
Lord
I've seen
Potato
this
Head
earlier in
goes
the
into a community shop, a nice local
there's-
family-owned shop. Not a chain.
Someone's banged a sticker on the bottom left of the screen. Obviously, highlights says, "Imagine still believing about this is about stopping a virus." And it's literally
I've already
like,
seen
is that
someone
real,
say
do you
that
reckon?
it's stuck on. It's Photoshop. I don't think it is. Look at her smile. She knows.
Yeah, she knows.
She's not wearing a mask, is she? Look,
No.
neither's he. This dude here is not wearing a mask either.
But we're talking about psyops. Is that just a psyop?
Oh, is that a
itself?
double psyop?
Yeah,
Just to like mock us?
Yeah, is that just mockery?
Who knows, mate? Jesus Christ! Like, we come up to 40 minutes. This is good. I like this.
Yeah, I shared this actually. I shared this when you posted this. Got your parachute yet, Jill? I'm getting mine later today. I'm so excited.
What's it meant for though?
They got wings.
You reckon it's Glorious Cure?
Yeah,
or
of course
is it Mask?
It's a Glorious Cure.
Yeah, it's Glorious Cure.
Glorious
isn't it?
Cure.
Yeah.
Clearly,
On that last one, by the way.
really
That's it.
don't need a parachute because they've got wings. It's the same as somebody with a healthy immune system at a young age, that's not in any immediate danger of this. They just want to inject you with their, what is it, chimpanzee?
AD5 adenovirus.
85 adenovirus.
Recumbent.
They want
Genetically
that in you.
modified AD5 chimpanzee adenovirus.
Because I tell you what, guys, these dark occultists, they are laughing to themselves that they've managed to get a large percentage of the global population injected with their little
They've managed to convince.
eugenics mixed species magic wizard potion.
Well, do you remember that meme that I put up a few streams ago? I showed to Inner Guardians when it first came on, and it's basically like these people are magicians. They use the media to project a paradigm
Yeah.
into our heads so that we create their reality for them.
That's it. Because don't forget, guys, they can't create. We've been through this so many times on the show. They cannot create.
They cannot create. Someone just said, please, can you put God Vaj's link? Right. This is the link to the Almighty Vaj Master. I've just put it in the comment section.
The Almighty Vaj.
Vaj-tastic. Here we go. He's actually called God Vlamst.
God Vlamst.
Good God Vaj in my book.
God Vaj.
Vaj of gods.
We just with our Western tongue. I mean, what is it? He's Eastern European?
It's
isn't he?
Flemish.
Yeah,
Belgian.
Yeah. Well.
Northern European.
Northern Europe. We can't even pronounce that. I mean, a lot of the Nordic we can't pronounce.
Wim,
that
if you're
either.
watching,
A lot
I
of the
would
Nordic
love to get
words.
you on the show. I would literally love to get Vaj on the show.
You did mention it to him, didn't
No,
he?
he said
he's not good
he
with
would be 100% up for coming to meet us and coming to the studio if it wasn't for the COVID union. But he said he doesn't like communicating through a screen.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's not confident with his English. I think his English is great. I love listening
Yeah,
to
I
it.
do.
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
his accent. It's
I'm
fucking sick.
wondering maybe though if he's not that confident, but that we might ask him something. And we do talk quite quickly.
Yeah.
People generally from England, we do talk quite
And when
quickly.
you're doing links and Zoom or streaming,
and he does quite take his time when he's talking,
Yeah.
doesn't he? So maybe it's the thing that he's not too
he
confident.
watches. Vaj watches. He loves the
But,
COVID
mate,
union.
big up Wim if you're
Yeah,
watching.
big up Wim.
We love your work and can't
You are
wait for
more
next
than
week.
welcome whenever you want to come on the show. We'd love to have you. So here's a good one. We're still on the subject of psyops, and I haven't even gone into any detail yet. This is a psyop too. Vaccinated people are still a danger. Hancock issues warning over Gab.
Have you heard the amount of slip of the tongues he's done
a lot
recently. Yeah,
I saw one the other day that because of new variants, like there's no way anyone can fly it until they've had the third jab.
The third, guys.
Third injection. Jesus Christ. Darren
I reckon
N.
Fancy spending a whole weekend away from Clown World? Well prepared to take off your tinfoil hat and join us at the next Rise Above Live in the Flesh Part 2 August Bank Holiday Hotel Weekender. With 3 days of engaging talks, panel discussions, interactive workshops, nightly after parties, speed dating, meet new friends, socialise, network and make connections from Bournemouth's golden sandy beaches. Located 10 minutes away from Bournemouth train station at the Celebrity Hotel, come and join us on the 22nd, 23rd and 24th of August, this bank holiday 2025, and get your tickets on our website today.
Okay, more on AI before we get down to business. Everyone's heard that at the moment, basically all of the satanic paedophiles in Hollywood are on strike. The whole Actors Guild, or what's it called here? Hollywood Writers and Actors. It's called SAGFA or something. There's another organisation. Yeah, the Freemasons. Well, they're all on strike. But if you look a little bit deeper into it, it's because most of them have been scanned by Al Gore, and they've been asked to sign a contract where, we're just going to give you this one-off fee or like a monthly fee, and we're going to use your image.
Use your avatar.
Yeah, we're going to use your avatar.
Yeah.
Now,
so all you think how much mind control work they've done for the state and everyone over the time. Now they're just being booted to the fucking curb. Well, that's what you get.
I wonder how long the capture image, can they just use the movie, or have they been sneaking the special capture cameras into the movie studios because they knew this was going to happen? So these film stars are stood around doing their auditions or playing out their scenes or whatever, and they think they're just being recorded for a movie.
They won't need to do that because they'll just watch the movie. Yeah, I'll just watch all their old movies.
Yeah, well, I think AI is probably that good, isn't it? You don't need a 360 room of capture cameras to do that now. But AI can literally just watch you for like 10 seconds. And then re-schwab you.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Do you know what? I reckon that contract's a bit of a dodgy contract for those people because they've signed their death.
Oh no,
they won't need it anymore. They'll be suicided.
Then their whole career will be controlled by the people that own their image.
Well, are they still going to
by Lord Schwab?
Right? Yeah, by Lord Schwab. But while all of this is happening, look, it says background actors worry AI will replace them as Hollywood runs full body scans to replicate them. So it's happening to A-listers and to peasant actors. But at the same time this is happening, in the top right here, in this tech article, the $900,000 AI job is here. Salaries rise as employers search as Netflix and Walmart seek candidates with artificial intelligence skills. And I saw another one, which was they were being employed directly by the movie company. I can't remember who it was. I couldn't find it again though. So at the same time this is happening, these hugely well-paid AI management jobs are appearing.
Well, there you go.
It pays big money to sit there and type words and ideas into Al Gore so he can re-schwab them.
When we talk about clones, it's not just the physical clones now, it's the digital. You know what I mean? This now here, isn't it?
The Empress literally 5 minutes ago showed me some very disturbing videos on TikTok. It was either Instagram or something. And people had in this Unreal Engine 5, where you can make these super realistic computer games, they've been posting on YouTube this week that now the NPCs in the games have full, like, proper AI, right? So they don't just have a script, they're actually AI. And now someone's walking along in a GTA Grand Theft Auto sort of, 3D world, and he's just listening to these NPCs, and one of them going, please help me, how do I get out of here? And the other one going, I don't know. And then he goes, but I need to get back to my family. And he gives his address in Canada. And this has been observed a couple of times in the last week, that these NPCs seem to be like real people. And they're like, how do I need to go and see my sons and my wife.
They're stuck in there.
Mate, I've seen the video, right? And it's like quite compelling.
They uploaded their soul.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And then the woman says, well, what about all these people that have just had the Schwab tech injected into them? And they're giving off Bluetooth signals in the graves? Maybe when they died, that they were uploaded.
do you know what I saw?
Wait a minute, press the fucking button.
So one of those weapons manufacturers They've just made technology which about games that when you die in the game, you die in real life.
I read something
that was a guy
about
called
that.
Lucky.
What? That's an actual thing.
Yeah, the guy.
Is he
listen to the guy
like Japanese or something?
No, he's not. He's American.
Really?
He's the guy who invented the Oculus Rift. Right? He's
I read about
Lucky
this.
something.
But didn't he make it? But then no one would play it. Or
Yeah, that's what I mean. Everyone tried fucking with him, but he studied his ground. Right? He's actually quite a shrewd, in my opinion, he's quite a clever businessman. Right? He's a bit of a tech geek as well, but he's now making all sorts of weaponry. Like AI weaponry, like from drones to fucking aeroplanes. But also on the side of it, he's done this game, which if you die in the game, you die in real life. But it's not out yet. But this is what he said.
How much is it?
No, it's not out yet. But like
$333.99.
Can't we slip that into a few stockings for the NPCs?
It's probably free.
I think maybe they might have. They've inadvertently already playing that game. So yeah, it was quite. Anyone can look at this on YouTube. Type in NPCs with AI in Unreal Engine 5. Absolutely mental.
On Sunday, the 24th of August, we will be joined virtually by the final boss at the bottom of the rabbit hole, Jason Breeches of Archaix. For the first time ever, he will be in a three-way panel discussion with Martin Liedtke and Dave Murphy. Come and join us live in the flesh to be a part of this historic moment.
Up and make literally everyone who's had the AstraZeneca have the fucking Pfizer as well.
Yeah, Darren N's right. The vaccine distraction, they don't care. The vaccine is just a means to an end.
Yeah,
it's a means to an end. It's one stage along the road to the next thing.
It's Portland Down, isn't it, where they're doing all the research and they're talking about this third vax for autumn.
It's where coronavirus comes from, isn't it? Probably was developed there.
Still on Facebook.
So shit. We're sorry. We're on Facebook. Right. So I'll let you. Right. This quote is: if anyone doesn't know who this is, you need to get to know.
So this is Rudolf Steiner, guys. Yeah, he lived from 1861 to 1925. This guy knew. Okay, this guy knew. We'll do a paragraph each time. Okay, so more than 100 years ago, this guy wrote this more than 100 years ago, guys. Right. In the future, we will eliminate the soul with medicine. Under the pretext of a healthy point of view, there will be a way which the human body will be treated as soon as possible directly at birth, so that the human being cannot develop the thought of the existence of a soul and spirit. So you won't even be able to imagine the thought of it. You won't even be able to.
Your connection to the source will be severed at birth. To materialistic doctors will be entrusted the task of removing the soul of humanity. As today, people are vaccinated against this disease or that disease. So in the future, children will be vaccinated with a substance that can be used precisely in such a way that people, thanks to this vaccination, will be immune to being subjected to the madness of spiritual life.
He would be extremely smart, but he would not develop a conscience, and that is a good true goal of some materialistic circles. With such a you can easily make the etheric body lose the physical body.
Once the etheric body is detached, the relationship between the universe and the etheric body would become extremely unstable, and the man would become an automaton. For the physical body of a man must be polished on this earth by spiritual will.
So that becomes kind of an Ahrimanic force. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Ahrimanic. I don't know what that means. We'll look that up in a sec.
Man can no longer get rid of given materialistic feeling. He becomes materialistic of constitution and can no longer rise to spiritual.
Rudolf Steiner,
So
1861
that
to
is
1925.
exactly what me and Lance have been talking about with these Satanists. That is the idea. If you go back to our Satanism and dark occult, and Satanism and dark occult video, we say that's the basic religion of these Satanists. It's just physical, materialistic, I, me, and that is what they're trying to do.
Or as Inner Guardians or Master Lee would say, "Oh my God, we have Chris Sky in the green room. Holy shit!"
Should we just bang him straight in?
Chris Sky is in the green room, and we're on a short time with him because he's a super busy guy. Right?
Yeah, let's take.
I think we need to go. Let's just take a 5-minute break before we get our special guest Chris Sky in. Guys, let's. I'm going to play one of my tunes. This one is Martial Law. We're talking about psyops this week. Check it out.
Militant stairs. Militant stairs. Militant stairs. Militant stairs. the military here? Who invited 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 the military here? I never invited the military here. Who invited the military here? Who invited the military here? Did you invite the military here? Who invited the military here? Gore-Tex boots, ankle holster, kit, low visibility grey. Shock troops, 50k taser, crowd dispersal energy ray. Flame retardant combat fatigues, 9mm Glock 17s. SIG, 516, carbine with pine cap magazine. Red dot sight gun mounted flashlight, backup clip, strapped to his leg. Counter protest firearms officer, CS grenades across his chest. Strict orders, encrypted frequencies. Combat civil unrest, across all borders, untold secrecy. Rolled out on the streets of the west. Who invited the military here? I never invited the military here. Who invited the military here? Who invited the military here?
Okay, guys, we're back. I'm just going to boot out Spoken Word Nerd. And it's about that time I need to say a very special welcome to our guest this week. He has been blowing up the scene, dropping truth bombs left, right, and center. I've seen him in a number of interviews, and he has left people with open jaws. He's been telling the truth about what we call the union. We're going to be talking about PSYOP. I welcome and I say hello to Mr. Chris Sky. Chris, how you doing, bro?
I'm all right, guys. How are you today?
Good evening. Very good. Do we sound okay?
Well, yeah, I was supposed to be talking to you guys from Edmonton, Alberta right now, but I went to the airport this morning to fly out there because I'm supposed to be at a rally in Edmonton on Saturday and Calgary on Sunday. And I booked on Swoop Airlines, which is like a tiny Canadian airline. And I went there, and as soon as I walked in the airport and I walked up to the front and I tried to check in, they had a manager walk up to me and tell me my reservation had been canceled. Like, literally.
Really?
Wow. Yeah. Then she told me that it had been emailed to me and I had been emailed a cancellation and a refund. So I took her word for it and I left. But then when I got to my car, I checked. There was no email, no nothing, no notification. So I went back and I asked her to show it to me. And she had nothing to show me. She went through her phone and tried to find it. There was no notification, no nothing. They literally just saw me, recognized me, and said, "Sorry, Chris Sky, you're not allowed to fly within your own home country on a domestic flight." Then the police showed up. And I made the police. I videotaped them, told them what was going on, told them I'm going to turn off the video, let them look at my phone. I'm going to show them my email and show them all my spam folders, everything, and show that nobody had sent me anything that say that my reservation had been canceled. I'm like, if they had, there's no way I would have wasted my time waking up at 5 a.m. and coming to the airport. So sure enough, I showed the police. I tried to videotape them. One of the officers didn't want to talk, and he tried to walk off the camera. So I videotaped again. And the other officer, who was a fan of mine and knew exactly who I was, he admitted, he's like, I saw the emails. I didn't see any email in there. He tried to help out the airline and said, well, maybe they sent it to another email. And I said, well, they only had one email, the email I made my reservation with. And they sent me my confirmation and my ticket to that email. So it would make sense that they would send the cancellation to the same email, which they didn't. But I'll say it here. It looks like I have a couple people offer me private flights to fly down. So it looks like I'm going to be flying down there tomorrow.
Nice.
Anyway, so it looks like we're still going to have I'm still going to be at the 2 rallies, and I'll find a way to get home somehow. So how are things over there in across the pond? I think you guys have it just about as bad as us, maybe worse in some regards.
I would say worse. I'm in touch with quite a few Canadians, and it seems like, there's some similarities with what's happening to you guys and to us. But I think we're really getting the brunt of it. We're really getting the brunt of it.
The problem with Canada is I'm waking people up too fast, so we're getting it the worst, I think, in all of North America. New York, for instance, is the first place in all of North America that implemented the passport. Today, this morning, it went into law.
They've got it, okay?
April 2nd, it went into law, and people have been calling it a conspiracy theory. I've been warning about it this whole time. And to me, that's their end game for this pandemic. The whole purpose of this pandemic was to institute this passport. Everything they've done to this point, every little restriction has been a step towards the passport. It started with masks, then business closures, contact tracing, forced quarantine. In Canada now, if we travel back to Canada, they make you take a PCR test before you get on the plane. Then when you land in Canada, they want you to take another PCR test, then get on a bus like you're a prisoner in a concentration camp and go to a so-called government-approved hotel, which is nothing more than an internment camp, and you're supposed to stay there and wait for your test results. Now, if your test results come back negative, this is out. Now you have 2 negative tests. They still force you to go back to your home and quarantine the remainder of your 14 days. And they tell you, and this is the thing, your thing's all about psyops tonight, right? I want to use that as an example to show people that this is a psyop. This is about control. This is not about your safety. They keep lying to you with the TV, the governments, their so-called professional medical experts. And the narrative is there's a very scary virus. It's very dangerous. And if you don't follow all the public health guidelines and comply with everything you're told, you're going to die. You're going to kill other people and you're a horrible person. The reality is it has nothing to do with your safety. Every restriction, everything that's being instituted is nothing more than a control grid being set up around you, forcing you to give up your rights and freedoms for a perceived safety. And then once they're all gone and once they get you onto that passport, you're never getting them back. It's very simple. Now that you've already given in to everything that they've asked for, when they come up with this passport, and they already have come up with it, when they implement it, I mean, they're going to force you to take them. They're going to say it's for travel, it's for your safety. And when they get enough compliance, 75% of the population, now it's going to become mandatory. Now you're not going to be able to travel domestically or internationally unless you submit to the. And then at that point, they're going to say, well, it made travel so much safer and so much more streamlined in our new normal. So it just makes sense that we expand it to work. We expand it to concerts. We expand it to gyms. So now your passport is part of your entire life, and you will not be able to travel. You will not be able to work. You will not be able to congregate, go to a concert, a sports match, or even your gym unless you're up to date on your shots. So now you're like a dog that needs to get whenever they tell you, because remember, you got to take 2 shots and they only last for so long. So your passport's going to expire something like every 6 months.
Mate, it's 3 now. In the UK, they're talking about the 3rd shot. They're already saying the 2nd shot is not okay. It's not enough to get you that green card. It's not going to be enough to ensure that you can go international and you can be survive all the different strains. The 3rd shot is already talked about. How long until they talk about the 4th shot?
Well, of course, once you have a 3rd shot, they're going to tell you you're going to need a booster shot. That's what they're going to say. They're going to say you need a booster shot. And then basically every 3-4 months, you're going to be getting injected with this RMNA concoction that's not even, let's be very clear. The Moderna and Pfizer injections are not, mRNA is not a, they literally call it an operating system.
Chris, can I just stop you a second there? What I'm going to have to do, I'm currently on 4 different channels at the stream. We are now into dangerous territory. I'm just going to have to turn off 3 of the others because I want to avoid strikes. So now we're telling the truth. What you're saying now is the God's honest truth, and they don't like it. The Soviet Union don't like us telling the truth. Guys, if you're watching on Facebook, you need to get over to YouTube, Rise Above Live, because this is not Facebook friendly. So let me just shut off the Facebook streams. Everyone that's on Facebook, please come over to Rise Above Live on YouTube. All right,
Chris is
a second.
absolute
Chris, you can
bombs.
carry on talking, mate. I just wanted to let everybody know. Rise Above Live. Head over there now.
We'll give everyone a second to catch up.
Yeah, we've got 150 people tuned in. We get about 1,500 to 2,000 tuned in a week. We are so lucky to have you, mate. You are so busy at the moment. You were hosting InfoWars the other night. Let me ask you, right? How did you come into this? Because I've seen you in a number of interviews. You've really caught my attention. When did you sort of rise into this position that you're in at the moment?
Well, I was in a unique position because I was traveling right when it happened. I flew into Venice for Carnival, literally the day that they canceled Carnival from Corona for the very first time in history. Like, they didn't even cancel it in the Spanish flu where we had like 7% of the population die, but they canceled it which I already thought was very fishy. Then I started getting phone calls from all these people back home saying, oh my God, you're in Italy, you're going to die. There's a virus going around. Meanwhile, I'm at the gym, I'm at dinner, I'm just living like normal. And I go, you guys got to stop watching TV, man. It doesn't tell you the truth. It tells you lies to make you afraid. Why do they want you afraid? Because when you're afraid, you will listen you will listen to what they tell you to do. When you're afraid, you're paralyzed by fear. You won't act. You won't speak out. You'll just sit there. Literally, you'll sit there and let them close your business until it goes bankrupt because you're too afraid to literally go to work. So that's how powerful fear is. And that's why anytime you turn on the TV, it's going to try to tell you to be afraid. Be afraid and do what you're told.
And that's how this PSYOP works. In my opinion, this is what I would say is fear-based mind control or repetitive trauma-based mind control.
That's exactly what it is. It's 100%
This is on a mass global scale.
Massive global psychological brainwashing campaign using lies and fear as their weapon, disseminated through the media, disseminated through the government. But like David Icke said, all you got to do to combat that is hit people on their heart chakra. And how do you do that? By telling the truth. When you tell the truth, people only need to hear it one time from one person, and that resonates and it wakes them up, and then they can't go back to sleep. And then that propaganda doesn't work anymore. Instead of making people afraid, it makes them angry. And when they're angry, they're more willing to act in their own best interest.
I find anger is a great tool.
That's what we need. If there was no anger, we wouldn't see millions of people rising up around the world against this. And we are seeing it. They're just not showing it on TV, of course.
So before this happened, before the union rolled out this pandemic, whatever it is, I'm going to assume that you've been doing your homework for a number of years before to have this insight. Myself, I've been researching since 9/11, since the Twin Towers came down. I started off reading David Icke books, and then I sort of over 20 years reversed engineered all of those different subjects. What got you into all this?
Well, to be honest, it was pretty much the same thing. I was like 14 years old when 9/11 happened. I remember seeing it on TV and then going to high school right after. And like within a year, everyone was talking about it. And then I saw a video from Alex Jones. And that's who really got me into the truth movement. Like I'm talking almost 20 years ago now. And from then I was just always skeptical of government. I was always, what's the number one cause of death in the last 100 years? Democide. Government's its own people. Yet people believe everything the government tells them, and people believe that the government has their best interests in heart. Government, its own people, is the number one cause of death in the entire world in the last century. Let that sink in.
In history, it's the biggest
history. Yeah. If we go back, it's even worse. If we go back into further histories, but yeah, but people still believe the government, so it just makes absolutely no sense. Like, would you believe someone that lied to you every day? Would you believe someone that murdered more people than anybody else in the entire world?
This is what I said. I said this to someone in a shop the other week, and they said, "Why aren't you wearing a mask?" And I switched it backwards to them. I said, "Why are you wearing a mask?" They said, "Well, because I've been told to." I said, "Well, who told you?" And they replied. I said, "What? So you take health advice from professional liars and salesmen on the television?"
Yeah.
And they're like, I bet they felt really stupid.
They
probably thought I was crazy.
I did a video demonstrating mask-free shop. I made a bunch of them. One of them is just me going into like 10 different stores and teaching people how to go in there without a mask and not cause a problem. And another video, we actually started asking people wearing the mask why they're wearing the mask. The 3 answers I got were, one person said they were scared of the virus. That was like very rare. One person said they didn't want to get kicked out of the store. They didn't know the law. They didn't know about exemptions. Fair enough. Then the other person said they just want to follow the rules. So I tell you this, I understand you want to be a good person, you want to follow the rules, but when the rules are not in your best interest, when the rules are directly harming you, when the rules are putting your future into question, when the rules are going to make life untenable for your family, are you still going to follow them? How much are you going to keep following them?
I'm just going to say something. So on that note, okay, what I'm hearing a lot of here in the UK, especially from the baby boomer generation, right, is that it's because of the World War II privilege and all that, and the pride of World War II and all that, which is hammered into the English people. I'm hearing a lot of, we've all got to do our bit. We've all got to make sacrifices. We've all got to do our bit for the greater good. It's always for the greater good.
That's complete bullshit. That's complete bullshit. And it's so easy. I already gave you an example of the hotel quarantine. And all you got to do to prove to people that this has nothing to do with their safety and everything to do with control is give them a couple examples of some of these so-called restrictions and some of these so-called things that we've had to give up for the so-called greater good, and show them that it doesn't make sense from a lens of safety, but it makes perfect sense when you look at it through a lens of control. Take the hotel quarantine. They try to tell you that you're safer getting on a bus full of potentially sick people, going to a facility full of potentially sick people for a day or two, then going home, versus just going into your own car by yourself and going home. Obviously, you're not safer in the first scenario, but if you look at it through a lens of we want to scare people from traveling and we want to control people, then it makes perfect sense. The most glaringly obvious reason that this is complete and utter bullshit is the fact that every single restriction the government writes up and puts upon the citizens, they are exempt from. So why do you have to give up this right and this freedom for the greater good and for the safety of everybody, but they don't? They can keep their rights and freedoms, and they're perfectly safe. They don't have to go to quarantine. They don't have to close their business. They don't have to lose a paycheck. They don't have to. They don't have to get forcibly tested, etc., etc. None of that applies. Their gyms are all open, etc. They can go to in-room dining. Like, it's ridiculous.
None of them are on furloughed or 80% pay or no pay. Right.
In fact, in Toronto, we had a conservative MP, a guy by the name of Roman Baber, and he wrote a letter that basically showed all the ways that lockdown is worse than, and we all know that the consequences of lockdown are far worse. Like 90% of the people are 65 plus. They all have comorbidities. Meanwhile, we've had suicides rise over 100%. That's child suicides. So you're comparing the deaths of old, sick people to young, healthy people who had their whole lives ahead of them.
Self-harming has become a real problem.
Domestic
in the UK.
abuse.
Yeah, domestic
abuse, friggin' overdoses, everything. Any type of social problem has gone through the roof because of, we got all the business closures. That's the number one problem in Canada. 70% of our
liquor stores are still open. All the liquor stores are still open.
The liquor stores are owned by the government in Canada. So how are you like that?
Oh, right. So you have a system like in Sweden where
You guys hold on a second. I gotta take this call really quickly.
Yeah, no problem, mate. I'll just put you back into the green rooms for a sec.
Yeah,
One sec.
We're just gonna chat. Yeah, let's.
Wow, what a boom!
That was just some.
How lucky are we to have Chris Sky dropping truth bombs like that? Spoken word, Node. What are you saying?
Disney has come back into the news in the last couple of weeks. On the left is a Disney gift card. Can anyone spot what's wrong with it?
It's got a penis.
Really? Where's the penis? I can see the penis, obviously. No, it's not the only time that Minnie Mouse's shoulder and body looks like a phallus, and obviously Mickey is gripping it. And we've got like the products of the Disney Club on the right hand side here. But the reason it came back into the news. Oh, sorry. Yes,
brilliant.
The reason Disney.
Who did that?
Don't know.
Who is responsible for this masterpiece?
I just randomly found this. I don't know who's responsible.
I saw a great meme that they put Obama's head on Will Smith's torso when he was slapping Chris Rock. Said, "Keep my wife's dick out of your mouth."
Quality. So let me get to the story. The story is that Disney have got caught out on video. An instructional video to their high-level influencers and execs about obviously injecting the rainbow trans agenda into kids' films designed at 5-year-olds, basically taking heteronormative people out of the narrative and having LGBT rainbow trans people at the forefront of all narratives. So Disney Productions, new animated show for Moon Girl features its creating star roles for trans characters. Disney Production, okay, same headline there. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell, there's pictures back in 1985 of her at Disney World. Now, while this whole thing is apparently kicking off because of this video that's come out of these Disney execs, guess what else is also happening at the same time?
Go on.
March 17th, 2022. Disney employees and former judge among 108 arrested in a human trafficking sting in Florida. Has anyone heard of Polk County in Florida?
Yes, I have.
Polk County is the county that Disney has an autonomous zone in. So it's got its own police force, it's got its own judge, its own everything, right? Now,
its own rules.
I did some digging. Here's some more stuff about Disney caught imposing radical sexual agenda on 5-year-old Americans. Disney execs admit they are pushing not at all secret gay agenda, actively promoting gender greetings. Hitting Disney where it hurts. Florida GOP threatens to strip Walt Disney World of its right to build anything it wants inside its theme park. And they're saying it's because of this bill, about you can't say about gay people, whatever. I've got a feeling it might be about this. 108 people, 17 arrested in Florida, sexting, including Disney employees. Disney World employees among 17 arrested. Look at the dates here. This is going back to 2019. This is 2021. This is 2022. I've got more. This is 2014. Theme park employees caught in sexting, child porn arrests. 2019. Disney Youth Council molested 10-year-old girl on Disney Magic. 2013. Did Disney Cruise Lines cover up sexual molestation of an 11-year-old girl?
Guys, we can go on here. Yeah.
Right. So I'm just saying, the reason I brought this up is that whatever's going on with Disney, where they're taking away like the autonomous Disney zone, I've got a feeling it might be to do with the child abuse.
Yeah.
And not just the fact that they're trying to inject the rainbow trans agenda into kids' movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Look at this meme of Epstein's Island. Like they're saying Disney is the tip of the iceberg. That is dope.
Yeah, whoever made that is grand old memes.
Grand old memes. They need like big props. That is serious.
Yeah, this one's flying around the internet as well. I've seen this on multiple esoteric groups and stuff.
So what are you saying, Master Lee? In the world of inversion, is it any surprise that the magical kingdom that should be the purest place ever is actually like a haven of child abuse?
Yeah, they're inverting the essence.
Yeah.
Because the essence is strong in children.
Yeah.
Perverting the essence.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Going for the source. And it's probably something to do with Jimmy Savile as well.
He's probably at the helm.
No doubt he had some like franchise of Disney England. No
So I
doubt.
got this picture on the left sent to me. Angelina Jolie visits Ukrainian child refugees at the Vatican's Children's Hospital.
Why the Vatican got
the
a children's
Vatican's
hospital?
Children's Hospital, who have arrived in Italy after fleeing Putin's bombs. And what's he wearing? What's the poor little boy wearing? Pizzas. Andy PG, hashtag Pizzagate. Yeah, it's all linked, guys. And of course, you've got Angelina Jolie with her best satanic mask on there.
Yeah.
In all black.
Terrible. And this is a bit of work here on the right hand side from Deep Bait Memes.
Oh yeah, I like it. Is that who is that?
It's Chris
It's
Whitty
from
pulling
Whitty from matey from the Goonies. That's it. That's
Sloth.
it. Yeah.
Oh no, Chunk. No, just Sloth.
Yeah, Sloth. Yeah.
Chunk
from
was
the
the
Goonies.
fat kid.
Yeah.
wasn't he? Yeah. That's
Sloth from
Yeah,
the
Sloth
from the Goonies.
And Sloth stands with Ukraine as well.
Yeah.
Elon
Musk.
So yeah, this is also from Deep Bait Memes. Like,
Robo Musk.
Here's look at those obelisk rockets there.
And there's obviously 3 of them.
Obviously 3. Really good. Oh, sorry, I've actually muted
I
your
know
mic.
you muted me, man.
Yeah,
I thought if I spoke, you might
It's
hear
because
it.
you're all chatting in the,
He should
in the
be
DJ box.
He should be Iron Man because that's who he wants to be, isn't it? Iron Man.
Yeah, he thinks he's a bit of a Tony Stark, doesn't he? Old Elon.
Well, he famously gave up all of his wealth apparently to take humanity to Mars. Such a gentleman.
Well, they're saying that apparently he's basically like homeless and he sleeps on people's
No,
sofas.
what I reckon it's been misrepresented that because I looked into this a while ago. He was going to buy, he had invested a lot of money into building basically a Tony Stark house on the side of a mountain.
Right.
And he didn't in the end. He invested that money into SpaceX.
Okay.
That's my understanding of it anyway.